Hello and welcome to this second tutorial on using uiZ. Last time we looked at this little code which just draws a square on our screen. But this time I would like to get into structuring uiZ, and I'll show you what I mean by showing you this picture. So imagine a window. Just take this paint.net window for example, and you can see that it has three buttons: a minimize, maximize, and X button. And whenever we reposition the window, these three buttons get repositioned with it because they're kind of snapped to the window. And you can actually put that snapping, you could put that in a tree structure like I did here in this picture. And so the window has three objects below it. And the window is actually called the parent. And these three buttons here are called the child. So the window has three children, which are these buttons, and the parent of the X button, for example, is the window. And this creates a tree structure in your UI, which can be very useful. And I'll show you it, but before I can show you it, we first need two objects. So I'm just going to create a gradient. There's an object called obj uiZ gradient square. We also must not forget to fix our object, because else settings we apply to it won't actually get applied. So this is actually important. And I'm just going to copy in this code, which puts our object at coordinates 50 by 50, and then makes its size 200 pixels by 200 pixels. And if I would run our game now, then you can see that we have two objects here, a small square, this is 10 pixels by 10 pixels here at this point, and then we have this at 50 by 50. You just keep this image in your mind, what it looks like if you just have two loose objects. But now let's bind the objects together, and we can actually do that by using a script called uiZ set parent. And we want our gradient to be the parent of our square. And we do that by first typing in the square object, which will be our new child. And then we want to give it a new parent, which is called the gradient. And once we run our game now, like first it looked like this, but if we run it now, okay, made a little mistake there. I put this right here, but it should be right here, because we didn't define square before this point, so it was kind of stupid of me. But let's just run it. Yeah, we can see the difference here. First, this white square would be on top of here, but now it suddenly is inside of the other object. So I kind of placed the little square inside of the big gradient square. And so this is 50 by 50 pixels, and this is actually 10 pixels from this point. So that's kind of the magic. We just place it inside of here. And with this you can create a lot of structure inside of your UI. It can get very advanced if you use frame sets and grids, but we'll get on that with later tutorials. But for now, this is all you need to know. I hope you understand this concept. If you don't, you can also read the text tutorials. You can read those at your own pace, and maybe you understand it that way. But this was it for this tutorial. Until next time.